Good evening, everybody, and Merry Christmas. I will say hi to everybody in a moment, but this is only a minute and 28 seconds long, and I really want everybody to see this. I was going to open it up so you guys can.
Come to Birmingham.
This is the Commonwealth Games of England.
It now gives me the greatest pleasure to declare the 22nd Commonwealth Games open.
Did anybody see that bowl? Hey, Coin Dude, how are you? That bowl is a representation of Baal or Molech. Do you guys understand what that is, correct? I hope. Now let's take you over to what that bull did, I believe. Let's go back here. Let's see if this.
Welcome to Birmingham.
Wrong one. The other one didn't come in yet. There it is. Those ladies are druids. Whoa. Shut that thing up. That is representation of Baal, Moloch, Christ, or Antichrist. That was all done. Hello, good. Hello, how are you? Sloppy Stacks, Angry Warrior. Hello, Coin Dude. John Camper, of course. Merry Christmas, everybody. SkyQuest. And let's see. Carrie Taryn was here, or is here, maybe. Last week I kind of touched on COP28. It was, wow, very eye-opening. There are 26 signs that King Charles is the Antichrist, guys. From his birth to now, it is assumed that his family knows by stuff that they've done. I just got so much stuff going on. And when I saw the opening games of the Commonwealth, that's the second largest competitive games next to our Olympics. And guys, there's just, oh my gosh, there's just so much. Charles, through the Crown of England, owns a little over 1/4 of the Earth's landmass, 6.6 million acres or billion acres, it's something like that. And the next person that owns anything close is the Catholic Church. And even when you read about the Catholic Church, what they own is 37 times less than what Charles owns. 56 nations are under the crown of 193. That's well over 1/4. Hello, Joey. How are you? Merry Christmas. They did sign a 7-year covenant on December 13th, guys. We will not be able to see what's in that until somewhere around April. Last week I showed you guys the 3 ostrich feathers. It had 6 lines each, so 666. That is for the Prince of Peace. His signet ring, also the signet ring that he wears on his left hand on his pinky, has that signet on it also, and he wore it through his total coronation. I think we talked a little bit about his coronation. He's one of very few people that are actually coronated king. He is the head up of oh my gosh, so many words are swimming in my head. The Masons. He's the highest person in their ranks. He's called the Black Prince through the Masonic connection. Which also has the red dragon symbol. I will show you his shield. Let me see. I'll have to pull this one. Oh, wrong one. I'll have to pull his shield up for you guys. Oh. Okay, let me turn on my camera. What you guys are seeing is baklava. That's like a 2,000+ year old recipe. It's a pastry from ancient times. Yes, I love making it. It's really good. There's the bottom part of his signet, his shield. See the red dragon and the ostrich feathers? Yeah, that's there. I showed you guys last time all of his signets. There's the part of the shield, a little bit better. Because I was just so much stuff. He's got the dragon and the lion, the head of the lion, the body of the leopard, the feet of a bear. That's Daniel and Revelations. How many people know that when he was coronated king, They not only had Druids, they had Muslim priests, they had Catholic priests, they had Jewish rabbis. They all partook of this, and Israel sent him olive oil, consecrated olive oil from the rabbis from the Mount of Olives, so he would be consecrated. He was consecrated on top of the stone of scone, or also known as the stone of destiny. They believe, they they did the stuff and said it's really not, but it's old enough that they call it that. The belief is way beyond. He's part of the Laudato Si, and there's a website, LAUDATOSI. It is a directive that Pope Francis put down. It has an outline for the Third Temple. He is the seventh Charles in the line. Started with Charlemagne, who had the sword of destiny, guys. True story. All of this stuff can be looked up, but he is also descended from the fifth, and in Revelations it says, he will be the eighth from the fifth. Princess Diana had to be killed as a sacrifice for the goddess Diana to, fulfill part of his prophecies. His name calculates out both in Hebrew and English to the gematria calculations. And it comes to 666, guys. And if you ever look at any of his stuff or listen to any of his speeches, he'll say he's the defenders of the faiths, more than one. He did convert 10 or 12 years ago to Muslim. They believe that the stone of scone, or the stone of destiny, is from the throne of David. Now, it doesn't actually, carbon date back to then, but, one of his symbols is Pan, the green man, which kind of goes along with his worldwide global initiative to, oh, Lord, guys, so much going on in my head right now. The Green New Deal, that kind of stuff. How many of you know that Joe Biden's Build Back Better plan actually came from Charles and through Klaus Schwab? That's one of their things they've been doing since the 1990s. Build Back Better, yeah. Kind of weird on that one. Charles was born exactly 6 months to the day that Jerusalem was given back their homeland. They were given it back May 14th, 1948. Charles was born 11/14, 1948. And that's really quite interesting, because if you read in Luke 1:26-38, you will find that when Mary was visited by Gabriel to tell her she was going to have a child, she was also told at that time that her cousin Elizabeth was already 6 months pregnant. And that it's kind of weird, right? 6 months apart. Same thing with Charles and Israel. Makes a little bit of sense there. The Muslims are calling him the Mahdi. I don't know if he's related to Dracula. He will play a big part in getting the temple rebuilt, and with everything going on and some things that I've watched and things, I'm thinking within the next year to year and a half, we're going to hear that the temple's going to be rebuilt, and it's not going to be on top of Mount Moriah. It's going to be in the city of David, right? Just south of the wall for the Temple Mount. The red dragon is a Wales emblem, and it was given to him in 1969. Just so many. Charles means man, and British means covenant. Brit means covenant. Ish means man. So British man, and Charles means man also. So he's a covenant man. Pan is the god. Boy, I'm all over the place, guys. I'm really sorry. There's just so much stuff going on. You got go watch the opening of the Commonwealth Games for 2022 from beginning to end. It tells you the story of that girl holding all them crystals, and then as it ends, she gets up on that bull and rides out. So go watch that. It's just really, 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 really weird. I think what it's doing is openly telling us who he is. He's got a couple of videos out about him talking about Islam and what they believe and everything. The Build Back Better is also part of the Agenda 2030. Back in 2016, 2017, when everybody was talking about Agenda 21, they were trying to keep it hidden. Hey, Muscle Shell. And now they're not hiding that stuff anymore. And they're calling, the Great Reset. I've got a site. It's a little over an hour long, but it talks. They're I think this is it, the 1 hour. Yeah, this one's it. I gotta see if I can this. I'm gonna give you guys this link. Watch this. I mean, it's like I said, a little over an hour long, but it goes into what they're doing and how they're going to do it, and they're even talking about the mRNA being the first steps to you accepting the computer chip. It was something like 207 countries or something like that signed on to the COP28, which is the 7-year covenant, guys, that we talk about. Oh, yes, Pope Francis gifted. I don't know how many of you watched the coronation, Charles's coronation. I mean, I didn't up until I had to. Pope Francis sent 2 pieces of wood to Charles for his coronation, which were put into a silver cross that Scotland made, and they were set in that cross in the form of a cross as well, as more of a coronated under God type thing, God's choice. It's something that isn't talked about a whole lot in what they were talking. There's a whole lot behind the coronation. A lot of symbology was done during his coronation for different parts, and a lot of it was for nefarious reasons. Like getting coronated with the oil He did it behind the screens. The tree of life symbol. Merry Christmas, Scott. How are you? But something I didn't see a whole lot of people talking about during his coronations, which is really interesting, is they had 7 trumpets, not the little ones that they touch with their fingers, but 7 trumpets that that sound to announce the king's arrival, that kind of thing. There were 7 of them. Quite nefarious, if you ask me. um, it's and this is interesting. Everybody knows that Queen Elizabeth reigned for 70 years, which is, guys, a jubilee for the Hebrew nation. 70 years is always a jubilee. Anything that starts with 7, ends with 7, adds to 7 is a jubilee year kind of thing. He became king in her jubilee year. The Paris Accords was part of what's going on, and even in Revelations it says, when they say peace and safety, then you should worry. Well, they said peace and safety at the COP28 meetings. Not only did they do global climate change stuff, they were doing stuff for transgenderism, as if that has something to do with our climate change. They were doing stuff about food and what you will get, how what you should eat. They were doing stuff about children's education and how they should be. Yeah, well, the goat absolutely represents what was known as oh gosh. Iran before it was Iran. Guys, I'm losing my words. There's so many things going on in my head. This is just, it's taking me aback, and a lot of other stuff happened this last week that I'm not exactly happy about. COP28, COP means Conference of the Parties, and literally every head of state was there, or somebody representing everything. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. Hey, hi, Cirque. Merry Christmas, sweetheart. So, there's a lot. The link I posted, and I'll do it again right quick. Do absolutely watch it. It's over an hour, guys. Be patient with it. These are people telling you what's going to come up in the next 7 years. Things like, oh yeah, we got to get rid of the cars. We got to get rid of, they're going to be taking property. They're talking about what the mRNA shots for COVID was preparing your bodies for. It wasn't to prevent COVID, guys. It was to prepare your body for chips. It talks about all of that in there. It talks about what they're doing, why they're doing it, how they're doing it, when they're going to do. I mean, all of these people that everybody knows talks on this thing and are going along with this. And Charles heads up all of them. He heads up the global initiative. He heads up the COP initiatives. He heads up the Paris Accords. He heads up everything. So watch what's going on. Mark my words, in a year and a half, you're going to be hearing about the temple being built. It's coming. It's coming, guys. And it's going to be Charles that does it, and it's going to be built with the blessing of the Muslims, because it's not going to be on top of Mount Moriah. It won't take away from the Dome of the Rock. So they will absolutely have the blessing of the Muslim people. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep. Oh guys, watch that link. watch that link I gave you. Copy it. Do whatever you have to. Let me see if I can bring it up on my. It's called 1 Hour of the Global Elite telling us about their future agenda. That's exactly what it's about. Here, I'll share the screen so you can see the beginning of it. That's absolutely what they're. Let's see if I could expand this a little bit. That's exactly what they're talking about in here. It's just incredible because they didn't want to tell anybody about anything. Charles dedicated himself to being a Muslim about 10 years ago. Yeah, believe it or not, yes. It's quite incredible. There is a couple of videos out and tons, hundreds of articles about Charles and what he's doing with the Muslim faith and how they believe he's the Mahdi. Now, I don't know if you guys know a whole bunch about who the Mahdi is. That is their savior. They have never given that title to anybody else. And they are calling Charles the Mahdi. Every faith will be accepting him. And he's got control of almost a third of the world's properties, a third of the world's people. And there will be others that just come right in. Israel will join in. I know that sounds weird because Israel plays a real big part. And so you guys know, he is descendant from King Hezekiah, not Hezekiah, Hezekiah, which is the line of David. And he also has Muslim blood in him as well from somewhere else. It's a long time. He's got the Stone of Destiny. He's got, I am very sure he's got the Sword of Destiny, guys. It was Charlemagne's back in the 900s, and it's been in the royal family ever since. You know, I'm telling you, there's just, oh my gosh, so much that ties him in to what's going on in the world. There you go, T. Just, oh my God, I got books and all kinds of stuff. There weren't a lot of you here last week when I gave you a list of people to start watching. Craig Bong, and I'll put their names in. Craig Bong, Jenny Duvall, Tim, I think it's Cohen. I believe it's Cohen. Jonathan Kahn. I think Jonathan Kahn, don't get me wrong, but I think he will be Elijah. Just something in my being says he will turn into Elijah. He'll be one of the last two witnesses. Listen to what he says. He is just, Jonathan Kahn puts together the prophecies and how it's repeating itself. Craig Bong is expert in King Charles everything. Tim Cohen also does a lot of King Charles stuff. Jenny Duvall, she was a producer for major things. She has all of these different people on talking about the last 7 years. Hey, Aunt Martine, Merry Christmas. Been a while. So watch if nothing else, go watch one of Craig Bong's stuff. He gets all over the place, but he's got several books out. Tim Cohen does too, about what they're doing, how it all relates together. All the symbology is just lining up to be Charles and how it cannot be anybody else. the ancestry, the timing, everything is just right on cue. And please note that when everything happens, for what's going on, a good 80 to 90% of everything that they do is signed on or taken place on the 13th of some month. A lot of that stuff is happening. So, well, Muscle Show, you weren't here for my first one. I did what you asked. You weren't here. I hope you went back and watched it. Let's see. So, anybody got, guys, there's just so much. Ask me questions. I'll try to answer the best I know. I've been doing this for a very long time. I've been putting timelines together, going way back 4000 BCE. Yeah, I can cook. I can cook just a little bit. My mother was a cook extraordinaire. She could do things that you would blow your mind. Actually, so how many were here when I did that? I really want to find that stupid one where it shows all of the beginning of the opening of the Commonwealth. I really do, guys. There's just, oh my gosh. The opening ceremony is long, but you have to see the whole story behind it because it's just, ugh. It's actually quite scary if you ask me. See if this is it. There's a whole story behind it about a star falls from the heavens, it explodes. All these people run out, they pick up the shards of the crystals that you see them holding, and they take them back to their houses, and then they fly. The houses start levitating, and they fly over the auditorium or the stadium where they're at, and these people come out with all these crystals, and that girl you saw is holding that crystal up and trying to touch the bull. And as soon as the bull calms down, she climbs up on top of the bull and rides away. Well, then they take all them shards and put them back into the Tower of Babel. Hey, Batman, Merry Christmas, honey. Oh, what you're seeing is baklava. That is a 2,000+ year old recipe. Just, I'm addicted to it. The 15-minute cities, you guys can look that stuff up. It's what they're pushing. I wouldn't be surprised. They're cutting this next 7 years up into 2 years, 3 years, and 2 years for checking to see how far they are. At the beginning of the 3 years, let's see, 2023, so into 2025, they'll start taking away property from people that own it. And everybody else is supposed to be giving up their cars and stuff. It's because you're supposed to be getting into a 15-minute city, which means that anything and everything that you need is within 15 minutes of walking or riding distance. Okay. I know, looks good for you. No, that's an awfully thick one. That's about 200 sheets of phyllo. The recipe has honey and rose water in it. And, you kind of go layer by layer. You put the butter and the syrup or the honey concoction, and then you bake it under the broiler until it's golden. Then you do that. You keep doing that, till it's done. It's addicting. I can't stop eating it. I could eat the whole damn thing, and it's like 8x6 sheets or whatever they are. They're huge. Anyway, look up Dubai. They're well, I think it's Phoenix already has one started. Dubai has one that's going to be very elongated, and on the outside of the walls are going to be a mirror, so it looks like it's reflecting the surrounding ecology. And the inside is supposed to be like a mile wide and so many miles long, and you won't need a car because you can either walk, bike, or use the public transportation, which will all be electric. Dubai is the fastest growing city in the world and also has the tallest building in the world. It's supposed to represent the Tower of Babel. So, go look this stuff up, guys. 15-minute cities, the COP28, the stuff that they taught. I don't think somebody doing climate change should be talking about our food or how we educate our children or how to convert children into transgenders. That's not what climate change is about. Seriously. They go through a lot of different things, how to contain people, how to take away their vehicles, how to take away their house. And I don't know, most of you homeowners, if you don't know, there is a clause in your mortgage or your title that says if the government wants your land, they can take it. They will try to be nice and offer you, but if you don't like it and you say no, they're going to throw you in jail and take it anyway. Because the land technically belongs to the government. There's so much going on, guys. Just too much going on. I'm going to drop the link if anybody wants to come up and ask questions or come up and help. You're more than welcome. John was supposed to be here, and he emailed me about an hour before and said he still wasn't feeling well. If anybody really wants any of this information, I really do have it. I think I've downloaded 60 websites in the last week alone. I will be more than happy to find it and email it to you. Send you the information where to find these people. Everything that's going on is biblically in the Bible. So yeah. So I'm gonna go back here on this. I'm gonna present my thingy again, and I'm going to. That's the one about the shots and everything. Nope, that's not the one. Birmingham opening. You guys see that bull? That's representative.
Welcome to Birmingham.
Moloch or Baal. There's Tower of Babel going up. This car runs on banana peels, guys. Fires of hell, the crystals. They have druids. The girls in the dark skirts, white shirts are druids.
It now gives me the greatest pleasure to declare the 22nd Commonwealth Games open.
Yeah, go watch that whole opening. That is incredible. I think this is the Raging Bull. I don't know. I don't know a lot of these things. These ladies back here are all the druids. He's supposed to represent the bride of Satan. Also, the cow that the Israelites made while Moses was on the mountain, the bull. Baal or Moloch. Both are one and the same. There's your druids. Now remember, Muslims don't like any other faith. That's just a small portion of that whole opening. It's weird. I have not. Would you send me a link, Shell? Would you? I will be more than happy to look at anything. Yeah, hey Kale. You guys have got to that whole ceremony opening was the worship of the Antichrist. He knows he's supposed to be. He has not been inhabited yet. That's supposed to come. They said 3.5 years from the signing of the 7-year covenant, which was done December 13th of this year. But it is not available for anybody to see until April or something like that. Again, those people, I'll go up here and see if I can copy it down. If I can get back that far. The 4 people, Craig Bong, Jenny Duvall, Tim Cohen, and Jonathan Gott. You guys go look up their stuff. Go, I kid you not. Let's take out that part. Okay. Craig Bong and Tim Cohen. Cohen, of course. If you ever see the name Cohen, it is a descendant of Aaron, the original priest that God named. They are the original, the family of the priests. So, like, seriously, look up Craig Bong, Jenny Duvall, Tim Cohen, Jonathan Kahn. They're supposed to be doing a great reset. Now you'll hear John Howe talking about the great reset, which is get this, Klaus Schwab was introduced it. It was a directive from Charles. And the Great Reset is coming from them because they are trying to take all of your money. Good news, OPEC is not getting into the 7-year covenant, so it had to be taken out because they wouldn't sign it unless it was taken out. They do not want to get rid of the oil. But I'm sure anytime uh, soon we will hear that they have given it up. Hey, Brandon, been a while. Well, no, that Bermuda Triangle will be part of what's coming out. Charles is supposed to tell Joe Biden to announce that there are aliens. Okay, that's coming up in the next year. And if you guys don't believe me, go try to get his Charles's new book, Harmony, and it explains everything away in his double speech. It talks about all of his stuff, how his lot of his symbology, everything, where it came from, why it came from. I mean, he's been they knew when he was when Queen Elizabeth was pregnant with Charles, she knew what he would be. She knew. It's I guess their way of hiding what's really going on, Brandon. They're going to blame it on aliens when it's not. You got to get to crocheting. T, you crochet? Love you too, honey. Merry Christmas. I know it sounds crazy. You guys think I've lost my fucking marbles. Pardon my French. I have not. I have been studying this stuff for 30 years. My mother raised a Southern Baptist. I'm not really a Southern Baptist kind of person. And I really do not go to church because I do not believe in buildings of brick and stone. That is not what was taught. 99% of churches are false, but I do believe in the Word of God. And I have followed it forever and ever and ever. I have read passages for long, long periods of time, and it never made sense until the day that it actually happened. How many of you saw the flood and hail in Mecca, in Dubai, Mecca, where the big black cube is? Daniel 8, 26, 27. Go read it. Yeah, it is out on the internet. Yes, exactly, John. They gotta want to know what's going on, and I'm telling you, people have been doing this longer than me, and they're on board with this because it's just everything is fitting. Everything is fitting. Pope Francis, I have told people for a long time, he's the fake pope. If you ever watched the movie A Tale of Two Popes, Pope John Paul stepped aside because he said he couldn't hear God talk to him anymore. I think actually he was told he had to step aside so that the Antichrist could come in. He's done some really bad stuff, guys. So much so, archbishops and cardinals are all starting to call him the false pope or the false prophet, which is supposed to be at, the beast side. There just too many things are lining up. A lot, even though the Catholic Church is heavily involved in what's going on, Protestants, that when Charles was crowned king, he heads up the church now. That's part of his role. And although they're Protestant, the Catholic Church follows along too, and I'm betting that Pope Francis will follow along too. Francis took away the Eucharist, and about 5 years ago, when I heard about this, I started doing the calculations for the 1260, 1290, 1335 days, yada yada. If you go back and you look up the edict that Francis put out, it is almost to the day of 1,335 days to October 7th for the war that Hamas started. Yes, he is. He thinks he's Pan, guys, which is also a god, called the Green God. He thinks he's Pan right now. He uses Pan. I'll show you. He uses Pan in some of his icons. Oh boy. I didn't see that. I didn't get it. Oh, there it is. Oh. Nah, that's not a big enough one. Here it is. This was one of the panels. Let me turn it this way. See if we can get it bigger. One of the panels that, let me get over here. Stop screen. This was one of the panels that covered him when he was anointed with the olive oil from Jerusalem, tree of knowledge. And it was really green. It only shows blue on my screen. The dove. Now, what do you see? That's 666. 666. Pandemic, pansexual, yes. That's the number 666 in Latin, I believe, or Greek. It's Greek. Here's the copy. Oh, maybe I need to do it this way. Copy of Prince Charles Calculations by Kim Cohen. It's got the, show you all of this. I took a picture of it. It's the, English and Hebraic calculations of the numbers for 666. You gotta do the math on that one though. That's when the British royal family headed by newly crowned King Charles III owned 6.6 billion acres of land worldwide. You can see that right there, billion. And I'm thinking it's probably 6.66 billion acres of land. And the next person up, that's more than 37 times as much as the global runner-up, the Catholic Church. So, yeah, the top 2 people that own property in the world. And here I went out and I looked up maybe you can see it. Manuscripts of the original Greek used the symbols chi, xi, stigma. Comes up 666. Let me see. Now going into his yeah, nobody could. This was I did a screenshot. Actually, I took a picture of my TV. This was he insisted that the walls be put up when he got anointed with the olive oil, so nobody can see. And of course, the choir was singing, but I don't know. Can you guys see my? I don't know if you can see my mouse here. See these guys in the red, white, and black over here? There's 12 on this side. There's 12 on the other side. The 24 elders. I think I took a picture of the Lord. I got just so much stuff going on in my head. And okay, here's the ostrich plume, his signet now that they use. You count them, there's 6 lines of color in each feather. 666 right there. This is his I'm the King of the Universe icon. Right there. That's a Star of David. Here's his I'm the King of the World icon. And isn't it interesting on that crown? There's Roman cross and fleur de lis. Got to look up the meanings for those. It's big, big, big. And here's the COP28 symbol. See the lady in the middle? That's Mother Nature holding a dove. See the pale horse in front of her? Solomon's temple behind her. That's their COP28 symbol. COP28 UAE. Let's see. Those are their new emblems, you know, King Charles and Camilla. You notice the 666 in Camilla's name? The fancy CR? Yeah. There was something I got today. I was watching that silly thing, the World Economic Forum. This is where Klaus Schwab was talking about it. See how that line goes through the zeros, the O's in the words? Does anybody see anything weird about that? 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. 1/3 at a time. Now, some people have put a line off those O's to make 666. I believe it means 1/3 of the world at a time. Makes more sense. Here's Klaus Schwab speaking at the World Economic Forum. See the symbology on his podium? Ooh, the bull of Baal and the sun god or Ra. There's just so much stuff going on. Welcome to the 20. Oh, here. Oh, I touched. Sorry, guys. I touched my stupid wire. 1 second. I touched my stupid wire. It does it every time. Okay. Welcome to the 2030. I own nothing, have no privacy in life, has never been better. World Economic Forum. This was done. Member of Parliament of Denmark. That was this year, earlier. That is their motto. Hello, Santiago. Merry Christmas. Just, oh God, it's just so much stuff, guys. It's just, it's almost overwhelming because they're just throwing it out into your face. Everything that they're doing, they're just throwing it into your face. It's just, just incredibly into your face. So, gosh, I've already been on an hour and I haven't even, where did start? Yeah, silly thing. AC Doocy. No, that's backgammon, sweetie. There's so much information out there that just one piece after another. They're doing it in plain sight. They're telling you straight up what's going on. They're telling you what they're going to do. Hey, Lurch. Yeah, John said he still wasn't feeling good. He didn't have his voice. That he wanted to take tonight off and New Year's Eve off. I won't. I just, there's so much stuff going on. And they're doing it, and they're doing it, you know, just throwing it out there. I don't have enough time in a day to read everything one part of the world puts out, let alone watching all the videos and doing all the research, and so I'm trying to keep all my notes into one notebook, but that's bleh. I ordered some more of my really small thin paper. It came in, and those books will be filled up in short order. Yeah, just if you did not see the beginning, go back and watch that from the Commonwealth Games of 2022. By the way, 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have anything? Send me information. If you have anything that you think I have not seen, please send it to me. I will watch it. I spend about 4 hours from 9 to 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, 9 p.m. to 2 in the morning, catching up on the videos on this stuff, reading passages, researching it on the internet. I just so much stuff. I want to get it out. I want people to know what they're looking at. It's what's coming down, guys. It's going to be subtle, and then it's going to be in your face. You cannot get away from it. In the Great Reset, Build Back Better, all of that is Democrat, socialist led. Klaus Schwab edicts coming down from Charles, telling everybody what to think, what to do, how to say it. Go back and watch all that stuff. Once again, I think, let's hope it's same link. Nope. Well, I will put this down. These are the people I've watched in the last, couple of weeks. They're just all over the place. Yeah, people need to know what's coming on, regardless of whether or not they want to listen. That's their own choice. But I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be the blink of an eye, and you don't have the right decision made. It's going to be a bad thing. Really bad thing. I really do believe in a higher power. It's why I, take the positions I do about rape and abortion and abuse and all kinds of different topics. It's because it's coming from one place. What should or should not happen. My mother was, oh my God, you guys. I didn't know what made you pregnant. I had no idea. And when I got pregnant, my mother told me to jump off of a building. Yeah. So, I've seen things in my life that would blow your mind. I've had things done to me that would blow your mind. I keep a stiff upper lip and a constant head on my shoulder because of the Bible. Not many of you know, and there's not too many in here, but when I was 13, I was in a foster home. My foster dad was a counselor at a boys' ranch. And this was many, many years ago. Any boy in that boys' ranch could come up with $25 or $50 to give to him. They got to come home with him on the weekend, and I was to entertain them. Yeah. That's what my growing up life was like. And that was the easier part of it. By the time I was 16, I was living in a place on my own. The courts had no choice but to emancipate me. And so I've seen things that would blow your mind. Anyway, getting back to this, guys, look this stuff up, please, please, please. What was I going after over here? What's this one? Oh, here. Let's pause this for a minute. Let me share this one for you. This is Charles himself. Well, maybe I need to do the Facebook one. There it is. Yeah. See how it's coming through. Go over here.
We also know that countries, many of whom are burdened by growing levels of debt, simply cannot afford to go green. Here we need a vast military-style campaign to marshal the strength of the global private sector.
Military campaign. This was 2 years ago at COP26. Okay? You want to know why all these people are coming through the southern border? Because they need a military-style campaign.
We need a vast military-style campaign to marshal. Let me replay it so that you know I'm not making this up, okay? Let me just replay it. Listen to the last part of this. A vast military-style campaign to do what?
Here we need a vast military-style campaign to marshal the strength of the global private sector, with trillions at its disposal.
His disposal. Whose disposal? Because as it stands right now in the world of our hierarchy, Charles is at the top. Who is his?
Who's his? Look what he goes on to say.
Far beyond global GDP, and with the greatest respect, beyond even the governments of the world's leaders, it offers the only real prospect of achieving fundamental economic transition.
Beyond what? Can I just say the last part of this? Beyond what? Look what he says.
It offers the only real prospect, beyond even the governments of the world's leaders. It offers the only real...
Beyond the governments of the world's leaders.
Notice it says Revelations 13 KJV. King James Version is the only Bible out there that is authorized to be true and correct to the Hebraic translation. The only Bible that is true.
Yeah. So his disposal. So folks, this is absolutely remarkable. And I guarantee you, he said this on purpose. He's reading his notes. Who do you think told him to say this?
This was not a fluke. And by the way, there's only a few guys that have been yelling about this. Me, Tom, Andy Woods, a few others. And you know what they've been doing? They've been erasing this off the internet.
Yeah, they're not the only few guys. I mean, Craig Baum, Tim Cohen, Jenny Duvall are all doing the thing. I would love to see the four that I put down get together and talk, because it'd be explosive. But
we talk about from Daniel, from Book of Revelation, from various passages, there's going to be a global system. It will rise out of Europe, and they will crown their leader, and it will be a he. It won't be a she. It'll be a he. And the Book of Revelation calls him Antichrist or beast. He's going to be the most powerful leader the world has ever known. The Book of Revelation tells us, Revelation chapter 13, that nobody can make war with him. Who can stop him? Absolutely nobody.
yeah. So, yeah. That was pretty interesting stuff. Isn't that incredible? It's just like, yeah. And he needs the money. It's like, what? Who? Wait, what? Who? They're going to take everything. They're going to try to take everything. So, that being said, I've got so much more. I just, these things are popping up left and right, and I don't have enough time during the day to get all this information out. It was just crazy watching that. When I saw it, it was the last minute. It's like, wait, what? What is this? I highly suggest you guys go over to Jenny Duvall and go find. She's done at least 2 full-blown interviews with Tim Cohen and 3 or 4 of them with Craig Bong. Watch those, and they absolutely no, Lurch. The Pope is the false prophet. He's the helper, the right hand. The Vatican is only, I showed this earlier when you weren't here, but Charles owns 6.6, and I think it's 6.66 billion acres of land through our world. And the next person that is even close enough is 37. It would take 37 times of what they had to equal what Charles has, and that's the Vatican. Now, we know what the ending is, and I'm celebrating, but if you listen to Jonathan Cahn and Rock Island Books has a timeline, a biblical timeline out. They've got a few updates, but go watch them. They believe it's going to start within the next year, between 2023 and 2024. I've always known it's going to be the fall. It's going to be around Yom Kippur, which is really interesting because the war that just started October 7th was Yom Kippur. But I think the next one will be the Day of Atonement in Hebrew religion, Judaism. And again, for those that just came in, I believe within the next year to year and a half, we're going to hear that the temple is going to be rebuilt. Pay attention, because once that starts being rebuilt, Charles will go over there as the king of Israel. The only anointed king right now in the world is Charles, and he will sit in that temple. And that's when he will be taken over. So, I don't know, who is he that needs all that money, because Charles is the most powerful person in the world right now. Musk, all them people, they're all just falling at his feet. AI, the mRNA again, recap, is the beginning of the AI technology going into humans. In Revelations, it says humans will run to and fro, hoping that they will die, but they won't be able to. It's probably because of that. What's going on with the chip that they're going to get? That let's see, that link I put down earlier. This is it. Let me start this up and stop it. Yeah, stop it. And I'll get this link out again. Copy. Watch this link. This tells you everything about what they're doing with that mRNA and what they're expecting to do. And I don't know when this was made, but it was made a few years ago. Probably around the time of the Paris Accords. This is why they don't want Trump in office, because he takes us out of the Paris Accord. He takes us out of the UN. He takes us out of the WHO and the WEF. They need our money. And if that's so, I'm betting every person in America could vote for Trump, whether they wanted to or not, and Joe Biden would still be elected president. They need him in office to comply. I don't care how many people vote. We're still going to have a Joe Biden or Gavin Newsom in there that's going to be the puppet. Guaranteed, you guys, they can't have us leaving all these places. We probably America probably pays 70% of what's going on. The tribulation will begin, but you guys really need to read that. There is no pre-trib, no mid-trib. It only happens when Christ comes down from the clouds. And the dead will ascend. We will not. Only the dead will ascend to meet Christ in the sky. Read it. There is no pre-trib. There is no mid-trib. Revelations was very clear on that. A lot of people like to bring in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John and say, yeah, but it says this here. No, guys. It is not pre or mid. It is post. And it's only the dead in Christ will rise. Oh, I will too. I will they will chop off my head. I've already told my family, look, they're gonna chop off my head. Just be prepared, because they're not putting that shit in me. I did not get any of the COVID shots. I will not, and I never had COVID. I did have RSV, but that was from breathing in my own CO2 from the masks. And that was the biggest mistake I ever made in my life. I will never wear another mask. My left lung was 1/3 of the way collapsed before my doctor would actually do something. And now they're watching it like a hawk. Every 6 months, I have to go in and get a CAT scan. Yeah, that mRNA is preparing you to accept the microchip. That link I gave you explains everything that's going to happen, how it's going to happen, what it's going to look like, who's going to do it, everything that these globalists are doing. And it's all for socialist reasons, guys, so they can be rich and we can be poor. And like they said, their motto, you will own nothing and you will like it. Wow, I've been on for 1 hour and 15 minutes. I know I get going, and I'm sorry, guys. I really, there's a lot going on, and I know, I've been telling people I'm going to make a video about why I left the silver community. There's just, I will eventually. My morals and ethics got in the way about what was going on. And I don't believe in people when they say, well, that's my truth, because there is no such thing as my truth. There is only truth. And things that happen that split up the community is huge. A lot of things people didn't know what was going on, and then, when I was put to the test, I, of course, like I always do, I speak my mind. They didn't like it. Yep, absolutely, Santiago. The dead in Christ shall rise first. We have to stay alive. I don't know if you guys read Daniel somewhere. It says this generation shall not pass before the latter days comes to fruition. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing, I'm sure. But that was the generation of 68. If you were born between 60 and now, that generation, and I've looked it up, okay, it's about, everybody's a little hooky on it, somewhere between 60 and 80 years is what they're saying a generation is, shall not pass before the return of Christ. So people alive today, somebody's going to see something. And what was it, 1963? 1963, when Israel took over? I mean, the Balfour Declaration happened a long time before that. That was England just trying to fix their screw up, because they were the ones that installed Hitler. Somebody broke the leash on that one, and they couldn't get back control of him. There's you just got to go read the stuff. It's out there. They thought he was going to be able to stay in control, and they had him on a leash, and boy, that didn't work out so well for him. Then they had to get Stalin in there to stop him, and then Stalin took out. It was all really bad stuff. England was responsible for that. Yeah, it's 1,000-year reign after that, where Christ will stay on the earth with us. So, Rock Island Books, guys. Rock Island Books. They've got a great timeline. He lays everything out. He shows what he did. He even says, yeah, well, I made mistakes here, and I got to correct this and stuff. They have a great... I don't know what faith he is, and I don't honestly care, because I've looked up some of his dates for things, and I've been doing timelines for a long time. He's pretty right on with his dates. Go look up his end times dateline. Some of them can be pretty long, some of them are really short, but he explains everything, and it's that guy that draws really fast while he's talking. He has one of those. It's incredible information to know. So, okay, guys, I'm almost an hour and a half in. I don't know if YouTube's going to keep letting me keep going, because Rock Island Books, yeah, I like him too. He's very soft-spoken, and he's pretty steadfast. He did, the timeline took him over 8 years to compile. And Tim Cohen, he's been doing this for over 30 years. Craig Bong has been doing it for decades. And again, Janie Duvall, she was a producer for big places like Fox News, ABC, NBC. She's, doing stuff like this. That's why she produces a lot of different things. Tim Cohen's got a book out, The Antichrist and a Cup of Tea. But I suggest if you get book number 2, because it explains all of book 1 with extra stuff. Jonathan Cahn, he does a lot of prophecy and why prophecy comes around. He writes a lot of storybooks that explain what the prophecies are for in a manner that humans can understand a little bit better. Again, I believe that he will be Elijah, one of the 2 witnesses at the end. I absolutely wholeheartedly, when you hear him talk about the stuff he talks about, it was like every fiber of my being just thought that all at the same time. It's a crash of information. And Craig Bong, B-O-N-G, yeah. He's following the COP28 stuff and the globalists' agendas. Tim Cohen is following Charles. Jenny Duvall is producing a lot of that stuff. Jonathan Cahn is writing the prophecies. Rock Island Books is laying it out timeline-wise. All of them are worth the time. No, I don't believe there is a pre-trib rapture. I do not believe it, and there aren't a lot of people that actually know this stuff. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that there's a pre-trib rapture. Nowhere in the Bible does it say there's a mid-trib rapture. It's just people taking verses, hoping that it'll happen so they don't have to be here during the last times. That is not what Revelation says. Revelation says no one will leave. People will run to and fro, wishing that they could die, but won't be able to. So there's nothing in the Bible that says, yes, we will come get you before all this stuff happens. We are sinners from day one. We are supposed to go through this because we did nothing in our life to stop it. Even though we talk about it and share our stuff and everything, what have we done to stop any of this stuff going on? Nothing. These people are there because we've allowed this stuff to continue. Yeah, we're just little bit. We all think we're just little people, can't do nothing about these big people. But if we had stuck together and held our guns, and even then, Santiago, it does not say it's a pre-trib. It's a wishful thinking for those people. They're just taking whatever they can find, hang on to it, and say, I'm better than the rest of everybody. That's not going to happen. No person, I don't care how wealthy or how poor, nobody will go before Christ comes down. We all have to go through. I know that sounds harsh, but it's only fair. If you think about it, I mean, it's really only fair, right? These people have pushed drug addiction, sex, abortions, murder, and now we're just letting everybody get away with it because of all these, even George Soros is a puppet. He's paying people because he's told to pay people. They come kill me because I'm mentioning names. Oh, well, so be it. I will die in Christ. Not that it's going to happen, because they're not scared of me. Anyway, I am an hour and a half into this. I thank everybody for coming. Pass the word. Come watch what's going on. John Howe talks about, the banking system and the Great Reset. And I will let him, he gets his information from Q. I do not believe Q is a Republican thing. I believe that Q is a Democrat thing. How would they know what the Democrats are doing unless they're being fed? But that's John's thing, and I will let him do it. I have no inhibitions about letting anybody come up and talk about what they believe. Yes, absolutely. Make sure you know that Jesus is your Lord and don't back down. Anyway, I'm hoping that John will join us again. He won't be back until after the first of the year, he said. Next week, I will gather more information. I am trying so hard, guys, with everything going on, to get it in such a manner so I could show you guys stuff. I got a letter from my manager. Just FYI, Chinese people have been told to sell their land, their properties. You will see a lot of properties coming up for sale. Whether it's a business or real estate, they're being told, don't pay their prices. Get it turned down half of what it was before dipshit was in office. And, get it back down because they're selling for a reason. The billionaires, millionaires, they're all selling their American properties. Watch out. Something's happening. Something's up. And I got one of those letters saying that they won't, that they're going to be over here looking over the property, taking pictures. and that they're going to try to like keep us as tenants because we've always paid our rents and stuff. But, you know, that never really works out for anybody. Somebody wants their property, you have to leave. So be aware, though. There's a reason why they're selling. I don't know what it is, but there's a reason why they're selling. So I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all of your stuff. Be blessed. And we'll see you next week. Have a good night, everybody. Merry Christmas.